The mainstream media is yet again disrespecting Luka Doncic, as Stephen A. Smith had quite a lot to say as to why he thinks Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just a much better MVP candidate over Luka Doncic. So we're going to break down a few supporting arguments, some stats, and just look at how great, amazing, an amazing season that Luka Doncic is actually having and how he should properly be viewed as a possible MVP candidate this season, as well as after last night's game. I feel like we need to take a closer look at PJ Washington's defense and just really highlight just how great he has been for this Dallas Mavericks team. How's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news and everything Mavericks related. And before we get into today's video, y'all know the drill. 89.3% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed. That number is slowly climbing down. But if you want to be up to date on everything that we do, the videos, the live streams, even in the Discord chat, just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. Well, without further ado, our first topic of the day, man. Luka Doncic disrespected yet again. It was reported, I don't know, a few days ago, I think it was about a few weeks ago now, that apparently players don't want to come to Dallas. Players don't want to play next to Luka. Or Kyrie isn't a good teammate. Just all the negative narratives surrounding not just Luka, but the team in general. Because Kyrie does not get any love from the national media. But now it's starting to bleed into Luka Doncic, where he's having a amazing all-star, all-NBA, MVP, however you want to describe it. He's having an amazing season. And it's crazy to think, what more does he have to do? As he's putting up almost a 34-point triple-double on the season, what more does he have to do to be taken seriously as a possible MVP candidate in this league? And like I said in the intro, Stephen A. Smith had a lot to say, but we're just going to look at this real quick. This tweet right here saying ESPN in scramble mode as Luka and the Mavs won their 7th game in a row. Now prepping up SGA. Stephen A. Smith, here's a quote from him saying, "This kid SGA is a superstar, blossoming before our very eyes. Who, by the way, can rival a Luka, or I say even eclipse him? We gotta stop ignoring this kid," and that's crazy to me because first of all, stop calling SGA a kid. Stop referring to SGA as like this third-year player, and then Luka's like on his 15th season. SGA is like 8 months older than Luka, which really isn't a difference. You can just say they're the same age, which is fine. But like, if we want to really split hairs here, SGA is 8 months older than Luka Doncic. So if we want to talk about the kid, it's Luka. Come on. And if we just, look at Luka's stats, like I said before, 34-point triple-double. He's averaging 34.3 points, 8.8 rebounds, 9.6 assists. Those are all three of those little categories are higher than his career average. He's having a crazy season while shooting 49% from the floor, 37.9% from 3, and 78% from the free throw line. That's probably the only real blemish that you can find on Luka Doncic this season is the free throws, because the threes drop. He's known for his crafty layups and just the way that he can just de-accelerate, stop, pause on a dime, and then put the ball up. Like, what more needs to be said? And for Stephen A. Smith, who, if you're like me, he's entertainment and nothing else. Anything that has to say about basketball, anything that has to say about LeBron or Kevin Durant or Kyrie or any other player, you take with a hefty grain of salt. Because a lot of it is just narrative, a lot of it is just entertainment that isn't really adding to the game of basketball. But what he had to say about SGA, and I'm not going to disrespect SGA, there's no slander coming from me to him because he is a phenomenal player. He's great. He's going to be one of the young guys up and coming that's going to carry that torch for the next few seasons as one of the league's greats, rightfully so. But I gotta keep it honest with you, like Luka Doncic is just doing things that SGA just isn't doing this season. And we'll throw up the comparison. Their career averages. Luka's averaging 28 points to his 22, 8 rebounds to his 4, and 8 assists to his 4. Those are their career averages. And then, yes, SGA's 1.4 steals to 1.2 for Luka. The steals aren't even that far off. The blocks, it's 0.8 to 0.5. That's pretty much nothing. The field goal percentage, yes, it's about 2.5% higher than Luka's. SGA's shooting about, 8%? Not even, 8% higher from the three-point line than Luka, or 0.8%, I'm sorry, 0.8% higher from the three-point line than Luka, and then he's shooting a good, almost 10% higher from the free throw line, so yes. But Luka is a volume shooter. We know Luka takes a lot of shots, so that's fine. But just from this alone, on the categories that Luka beats SGA, it's a wide margin. For the categories where SGA beats Luka, it's very close. Luka's played only about, 10, 15 games more than SGA. I can't do quick maths, but you guys see the numbers. And then at the very bottom, awards and honors, which your awards and what you win in the league when you compare who to who for MVP shouldn't matter. But just to add some fluff, neither of them have won a championship, but Luka has 4 first-team All-NBA selections. He has 4 All-NBA selections and 5 All-Star appearances, all more than SGA in each category. So I don't know what more needs to be said. I like SGA. He's a great player. The Thunder do have a better record than the Mavericks. I understand that, but if you have a short memory, let me remind you about a week ago, shout out to Bobby Shmurda, but the Thunder lost to the Mavericks by like 35 points right after the trade deadline. Just saying. The Thunder are a very good, young, talented team, but this Mavericks team is doing very well themselves on a 7-game winning streak. I think it's either most in the league or tied in the league right now. I think it's most in the league right now. The best winning streak, the longest winning streak so far. Give Luka Doncic some credit, and I know a lot of people like to say, like, oh, well, your seeding and where you are, your record matters. You know, the best player on the best team wins, and that isn't true. Right here, left is Jokic in his last MVP season. Right is Luka this season. The last time Jokic won MVP, I want to say it was 2 seasons ago, because last year was Joel Embiid. So 2 seasons ago, Jokic was averaging 27 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Luka is averaging 34 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. The only thing that Jokic is doing more is rebounding. In Jokic's second MVP season, he's only rebounding more than Luka now. But both were the 6th seeds. That's what I want to highlight. The Nuggets 2 seasons ago were the 6th seed. The Dallas Mavericks right now, where the season's not even over, we can still move up to the 5th or 4th seed. But right now, I get it, we're the 6th seed, but like, come on. It's insane to me with the NBA media and all this hoopla just going around. It's just not fair to the game of basketball. And I'm not just saying that as a Luka Doncic fan, because I am a fan of Luka. I'm a fan of the Mavericks, but just as a fan of basketball, you got to give credit where credit is due. I personally think if Joel Embiid never got hurt and just kept playing the way he was playing, he could have been a back-to-back MVP candidate. I'm fine with that. And I'm not even mad if Jokic wins it over Luka. I'm not mad at that either. But specifically comparing SGA, and if you want to throw in Jason Tatum, you can too. Anybody else compared to Luka Doncic, what more does he have to do? Is a 34, 8, and 9 season average? Is that not enough to win MVP? You're on a 7-game win streak where your team can finish at least 5th, maybe 4th in the West. Is that not deserving of an MVP? Like, where is the goalpost? What is the criteria? What does Luka have to do? Does he have to learn another language, a 4th language? It's just ridiculous to me, and it doesn't make sense how all these talking heads and all these people in the media can just... It's like, where's your credibility? Where's your credibility to the game of basketball that you won't acknowledge a good player like Luka Doncic, where you'll give him credit, but then in the same hand, give someone else more credit to slight Luka? It doesn't make sense. But the Dallas Mavericks fans, we always got someone in our corner no matter what goes on in the media, and our man Tim Legler had this to say. Tim Legler can't stop praising the Mavs and Luka as Brian Windhorst silently watches. While he was on the show with Brian Windhorst, he says, I'm telling you, I'm falling in love with this Dallas team. There's an electricity about them that there's a belief. Luka is playing harder defensively. He's setting more of a tone. And Tim Legler, I can't disagree with you, brother, because you're right. A few videos ago, I brought up the defensive stats of Luka Doncic, where he has changed his entire game defensively while giving up nothing on the offensive end. Why isn't that taken into account? He's a better defender this year than any other year of his career in the NBA while scoring more. He's doing not everything, but he's doing a lot of things better than anyone else on this team right now. He's improving so much between last year and this year. Where in what dimension is SGA a better candidate for MVP than Luka Doncic? It just doesn't make sense to me. And again, not a slight to SGA. Great player. The Thunder are a good young team. I personally think they need more experience before they can make a deep playoff run. Possibly a first-round exit, depending on who they see. But come on. This Dallas Mavericks team, I understand we got to really just show them. We can't tell them. We got to show them. So the next 2 games, for the remainder of the season, they got to keep winning. I don't think that we're going to go for the rest of the season undefeated. But if we can win more than we can lose, if we can finish in the 5th and 4th seed, maybe Luka will finally get the nod. And honestly, Kyrie... Not saying Kyrie could also be the MVP, but you could also make an argument that he belongs in the top 3, maybe top 5 for MVP. Just the way that he plays, the average that he puts up while only going to the line. Yesterday's game, I got the box score right here. Kyrie Irving finished the game with 29 points while only shooting 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Like, Kyrie's not even getting any respect from the refs. So, we have a great team. We have a great team. Luka is an all-star, all-NBA, MVP caliber player. And it's really annoying that the media just does not give him the credit that he deserves. But one player who I think deserves a little bit more credit is P.J. Washington. When we're talking about just his defense, it's P.J. Washington's defense. And I went over yesterday after the game, going over the box score, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things I liked, the things I didn't like, the things that worked, the things that didn't work. And I touched on P.J. Washington's defense and what I think was one of his better games since joining the Dallas Mavericks. But I wanted to just kind of break down his defense a little bit better because I've been seeing on Twitter, I've been seeing it on Reddit, just people saying that they're, maybe PJ Washington isn't as great as what we thought he was, because I understand his offense isn't, and his scoring isn't really like it was in Charlotte, but you have to understand he's not the first, second, sometimes not even the third scoring option. But the way that he impacts the game, the way that he still finds himself to be useful, you can put him in the starting lineup. He started yesterday, and even though I'll throw the box score back up last night. Where is it? PJ Washington, 12 points. Played 31 minutes. For someone not a first or second option, that's not bad. That's contributing. But his defense is where he just shined, and I'm not sure if people understand how good of a defensive wing that he is. But right here, Mavs defensive rating with PJ on the floor, it's a 96.95. That's insane. And when he's off the floor, it's 112.08. Like, that's such a big difference with PJ Washington. And last night, if you were watching the game, he was holding KD down. Now, I'm not saying he locked him down. I'm not going to say that he shut KD down. But for the majority of the time that PJ Washington was on the court, if Kevin Durant was on the court, that's who he was defending. That's who PJ Washington was putting in PJ jail. In just PJ Washington jail. Just locking him up as the warden. Like, he's doing all the right things, and I feel like if he can do that to someone like Kevin Durant, where Kevin Durant's averaging like 28 points, again, the box score, that's not for the Suns, but I want to say he only finished with like 21 or 23 points last night. So PJ held KD below his season's average in points, and we all know how crazy of a scorer and how crazy efficient Kevin Durant is as a scorer, and I just feel like PJ might need a little bit more love from the fans, might need more love just from Dallas media as well, of a few talking heads out there just not really giving him the praise he deserves, because who are we putting on Kevin Durant? Who are we putting on LeBron James? Who are we putting on a Steph Curry? When it comes down to it in the playoffs, when we play against these great teams, PJ Washington will be that wing defender that we will just rely on, that we'll lean on, and that we need. And this right here just shows you. Kevin Durant last night, again, 23 points, but he shot 9 of 21. 2 of 7, had 4 turnovers, was a -3. PJ Washington was doing that. And if I got to keep adding in PJ Washington, just giving him praise, I will, because I need people to understand that that's what we needed in Grant Williams. And I'm not trying to disrespect him, but this is what this team needs. Regardless of the player, this is the type of player that we need, someone that's just dedicated on defense, who takes pride in defense, who's willing to take on the hardest assignment every night so Luka and Kyrie can pop off. It fits. It fits like a puzzle, and I just love to see it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we're doing. Check out the link in the description below to our Discord. You can find me there in the Mavs Digest little section that we got there. We're talking basketball. We're talking Mavericks. We're talking everything there. And that's the best way that you want to reach out to me. Check out the Discord. But until next time, y'all take care. Peace.